Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
New Year's Eve. Happy New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year's Eve.
Bobby D.
Same thing.
Man, it is such an exciting day today. We are here. We are getting ready to rock the last day.
It's raining.
2022. Yes, it is raining
It is
as
raining.
well, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Wow. I'll tell you what a difference a week makes.
That it does.
Wow. I mean,
I think we look better this week.
Yes. Yeah, we look better. We feel better. We feel
warm,
refreshed.
Yes. Could actually take a shower here instead of it being frozen solid.
Oh man, yeah, I tell you, it was just it was pretty rough last week.
It was.
You saw it. For those of you who tuned in last week, you saw us all bundled up and everything, and that's because it was really crazy in here.
Yes, it was.
The temperature outside was -5 degrees. And
in here it was -3 degrees.
Yeah, -3.
Just about.
Yeah. Good morning, Danetta.
Good morning, Miss Danetta. How are you?
And happy New Year's Eve to you.
Yes. Happy New Year's Eve.
Let's go ahead and get this party started. I mean, the last episode of the CCI radio show, YouTube show for this year. It's our 11-year show anniversary. We're going to talk about that and so much more. So, Bobby D, let's sit at the CCI radio show.
Starts now.
All right. We are back. We are live here on this rainy Saturday, as you said.
Yes. Quite rainy.
Quite rainy, but I would rather be rainy and warm than cold.
That's true.
Yeah,
that was not good.
Yeah, I felt like last week we were a mess.
Yeah, we were a hot mess.
Oh man, I felt like a thug last week. I felt like a cold thug last week.
A cold thug?
Yeah, because no matter we had a little heater going and we were all bundled up the layers, it still didn't matter.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I felt like, a cold thug.
But I don't know where the thug part comes in.
Well, right. Because the hoodie was making it look that way.
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh man. So thank you guys for tuning in today, and just we just want to thank everybody for being part of the CCI radio show for this year.
That's true. We're very thankful.
Yeah, we had a lot of good interviews this year. We'll get to some of those shortly.
That is correct.
And Danetta said, not a cold thug, Sam. Okay.
I don't know where the cold thug came
I
from,
don't know. It's,
the thug part. Cold,
yeah.
I don't know where the thug came from, but that's all right.
Yeah.
That's okay. Whatever.
So we're all decked out in our New Year's shirts.
Yes.
The Bobby D gladly picked out.
Yes.
You look very nice in yours.
Thank you, sir. So do you.
You look very happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's warm.
Yes. And I can't wait to see what you got sitting next to us.
Oh, our pretend cheers on. We're gonna cheers at early New Year's with our Martinelli gold medal sparkling cider.
Can't wait to get into that.
Can't really see the name on there, but anyway.
Yep, bottoms up. Let's get it cracking now.
You want to do it now?
Oh well,
Okay.
Hey, it's 10 o'clock Eastern somewhere.
Yeah, here. That's what it's 10 o'clock Eastern.
Hey.
Whoa! Whoa! I didn't expect that. Okay.
That's
Sparkling cider does that?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's hilarious. was like, whoa, you know.
Yes, thank you. We've got papers and things down here.
That's why I moved.
Yes,
moved
thank
stuff. Now keep in mind.
I was going to do it towards the end, but
let's get this party started now.
Oh, really?
Now, even though it's non-alcoholic, come on now. You got to start the day with this.
You do?
Yeah.
We never start the day with this.
Well, we're doing it today. Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Okay.
And we'll do something again tonight. Cheers.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Tastes good.
Yeah, it does.
Don't want to drink too much while you're on air, though. I have to run to the bathroom.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I get that feeling. Yeah, I know that one. We won't be doing that.
Yeah,
we'll take little sips here and there.
Okay, sounds good.
So, yeah, before we get started into our wonderful celebration talk and, the New Year's Eve thing, we do want to give our condolences. We've lost, in the past couple days, in the past hours, we've lost 3 people. Well, it's probably more than that, and unfortunately, because social media doesn't tell you everything, and the news doesn't tell you everything. But on Thursday, we lost great soccer player Pele, passed away. Last night, really shocking. We lost Barbara Walters, and it's funny. You and I were watching something else, and then you happened to find it on social media, so we turned on ABC News right away to sit and watch a couple minutes of that.
Yeah.
And also this morning, we lost Pope Benedict XVI.
Well, all 3, of course, are trailblazers in their own right.
Yeah.
Pele, he was a big deal, especially when we were coming up, hearing about him and the different things that he did and was doing. Barbara Walters, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Barbara, this is the funny thing about Barbara Walters. When we were in college, Sam C., his direction, because of course, all of the different degrees that you have, they have different specializations. And Sam's special was radio broadcasting. Mine was television broadcasting. And as you could see someone else might have missed their calling, wanting to be on television and talking. But anyway, I digress. But that was my thing. I wanted to be seen as well as heard. So Barbara Walters was actually one of the people, especially we ladies, had to study. And we had to study her style. We had to learn about her history up to that point. And it's very amazing. She did, and still kind of does, influenced so many others that came up behind her, as well as she was quite the trailblazer. She was really, for the longest time, the only woman in a male-dominated field. So, and at one point, which was very insulting to her, because, she would argue and fuss and fight about the things that weren't fair for women. Like, women could do this too. What's the. And the men, because she opened up her mouth and because she voiced her opinion, they used to call her Barbara Wawa. I didn't like that. I didn't like that.
Who started that?
I have no idea. And I'm sure I could probably Google it and find out, but I don't want to.
Because that was just really, really
foul.
Yeah.
All because she wanted more for women. Why should the women, not be on the air as well? So,
right.
God bless her soul, and we're praying for her family.
I didn't know she was 93.
I know, I had no idea.
And I didn't know she was sick. Well, they say something about her being sick.
Oh.
That's what they said.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Wow, okay.
I didn't know. I just thought it was because she was 93.
Yeah, it was kind of sudden, at least. She hadn't been on TV for a while, but I figured, she's retired. She doesn't really have to
be on TV.
Yeah,
right.
On TV too much.
You're retired. You don't have to be on TV. So.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Danetta said she didn't like that either.
No, I did not like that. Like, that's not funny. Like,
No.
that is that supposed to be funny? Is that supposed to be a joke?
No.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
Nah.
Mm-mm.
I think maybe I will Google that and find out who said that, because that's stupid.
Yeah, it really is.
Whoever that was, it was stupid. So sorry. Duh.
Yeah.
But yes, Danetta's right. Rest in peace to Barbara Walters. Rest in peace to Pele. Rest in peace to the Pope.
Yeah, and it's funny. They had talked about the Pope yesterday. They talked about the Pope's condition is worsened, but you didn't think. I mean, it's that was really weird. Like Pele, I'm sorry, Pele. Yeah. I want to make sure I'm saying the name correctly.
I think of Pele.
Thursday, and then wow. I mean, it's just hours after Barbara Walters.
Yeah, hours after we found out.
Yeah, hours after we found out for that. So, yeah, like you said, rest in peace to all three and everyone else who. Unfortunately, this has been quite a year. We lost a lot of, and we had talked about that. There were more athletes that seemed to pass away this year.
A lot of athletes. Of course, our Pittsburgh legend just passed.
Yeah, last week,
Franco Harris.
Yeah, just days before the Immaculate Reception game.
Yeah, what a kind of a messed up.
Yeah, it's
like, but at least he knew that his number was about to be retired.
Yeah.
So at least that's good. It's not like they just decide, like, he passed away and then, let's retire his number, which, oftentimes that happens to people, which I think really stinks.
It does.
That really stinks. But I often wonder, why does it take 50 years? Like, if this, they've been talking about this particular football play for 50 years. Football players all over the world study it on how to do it. Why does it take 50 years to retire the man's number?
It really depends on the NFL committee.
Yeah, well, why is it taking so long?
Yeah, I've never known why it takes that long.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I
don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like that.
Danetta has a question. Speaking of that, how do you say your last name correctly?
Yes, sir. How do you?
Yes. Well, the last name is pronounced Cubbage. Okay, so it's Cubbage. Just think of cabbage. Think of cabbage. I don't know how many people out there like cabbage, but I kind of like cabbage, but I don't like being called cabbage.
Yeah, but exactly.
Yeah, if you take the A off of there, put a U there, think of the first three letters. Cub.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's a good point.
Yeah, Cub, and then badge.
That's a very.
Don't say it, Cubbage, but don't say Cubbage, but it's pronounced Cubbage.
That's a very good point. CUB does spell cub.
Yes.
Even CUBB spells cub. Might be spelled wrong, but
I see Danetta just needed that clarified. So yeah, we thank you so much for that. Yeah, many people have been asking how to pronounce our last name. So
that's very true.
Yeah, it's pronounced Cubbage. To those of you who don't know, aren't sure. Hey, if you don't know, if you can't pronounce the last name, just call us Sam and Bobby.
If you don't know,
now you know the rest of that. We'll drop we'll drop the rest of that right there. From one of our favorite raps from yesterday.
Yeah,
because we're not from yesterday.
From yesterday. That is correct.
Oh man. So speaking of, we have let's talk a little bit about now again, this is not, I'm not trying to sound braggadocious or anything, but I'm just, we just on it. But I just
listening.
We are very proud of our achievements, and I just want to kind of make that clear. So we want to thank each of you who have subscribed to our YouTube channel this year. This channel we're trying to build up, and as it stands right now, it seems like we're going to close out 2022 with 105 subscribers.
Oh, that's
So
good.
that is a big achievement for us. It might not sound like a lot for some people, but that is a big achievement
Yeah, we've
for
only
us.
been on YouTube.
A couple years.
Well, we opened it up in 2019, but I think it was 19, but we didn't do
Started
anything.
using it until last year.
Right, we didn't start using it till
It was all because of Bobby D. If I didn't listen to her, we would have never gotten this far because I was so single. I was so naive to the fact that how YouTube can help you.
Well, again, you went to school for radio broadcasting,
yeah,
so radio. Radio.
I never thought I would enjoy this so much.
You really do, don't you?
Yeah, I really did. And thanks to you, I mean, wow, this is like really another side that you just never really knew about. Well, but yeah, that's good. And also, we want to talk about our other social media pages. Facebook, we have gotten up to 1,218. Twitter, we've gotten up to 1931.
You're the stats man.
Yeah. Instagram, we've gotten to 854.
Oh, okay.
So those are the numbers and figures for our social media pages for 2022 total. So we just want to thank you guys for that, even checking us out on those platforms. And we can't forget, the whole reason and how the CCI radio show started was all on the audio side. So with this being our 11-year show anniversary, which is also, we're very grateful for that. That's another great achievement. We have reached so many cities and so many countries. We've hit some major markets, and I'm proud to say that for it's I kind of laugh every time I see this, but you would think that we'd be very popular in our own city.
I guess not.
But for some reason, we're really popular on the other side of the state. Now, believe it or not, in Pennsylvania, we are popular not in our own city on our audio shows, but we're popular in Philadelphia.
Interesting.
Now, again, we do not live in Philadelphia. We live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Not
Go
Philadelphia.
Steelers!
Yes, the black and gold, the black and yellow.
Black and gold.
Yeah,
black and
we
yellow,
we
black
do
and
not live in Philadelphia. We live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to stress that. We do not live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We do not live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Two different cities, two different sides. Two great cities, two historic cities, but we live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I just want to stress that so many times. Okay.
Where do we live?
We live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So
Thank you.
So not only that, but we've actually got some shout outs. We want to thank Brooklyn, New York for
Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah, Brooklyn and Bronx actually.
Really?
Yeah, Brooklyn and Bronx have taken us on. So they, we got listeners over there. Another one is Orlando, Florida.
Really?
So yeah, you'd be surprised. So those are just those are just some of the places that I've seen some stats for this year.
Wow.
And also
mind blown. Okay.
Your mind blown is going to be even more.
What?
We are globally connected, right?
Yes.
And that's our slogan.
Right.
We are globally connected.
Absolutely.
The CCI radio show, Globally Connected. We've been using that for
a long time.
A long time. And again, I'm not trying to sound braggadocious, but I'm just happy. We are happy with our achievements and our accomplishments. So we have also reached Canada.
Oh, that's good.
We have also reached Italy.
Italy? What?
And we have listeners, this is going to shock you, in South Africa.
What? Wow.
Well, you got to think of it. Our audio podcast has been out there for many years. And we've done so many different things on there. And it seems a lot of the listeners, believe it or not, when we were getting popular in so many of these other cities, they were really checking Gospel Excellence out.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There was one episode that you did that really got this whole started in different cities. That's another thing. We have actually, our audio podcast, believe it or not, have reached over 600 episodes.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, the last one that we did was yours. It was on Christmas Day. And that was episode number 614.
Oh.
So, that's a great accomplishment for our audio podcast. So we are so grateful for that. And as I take a look at some of the stats, Blog Talk Radio, we've got thousands and thousands of listeners, along with SoundCloud. And if you go to Anchor and Spotify, same thing, thousands and thousands. This is very unlimited listenership and viewership. And can't be any happier.
Wow, that's wonderful.
I mean, I smile every time I think about how this all started.
Yeah, back in the 1900s.
Well, you know what? Let us talk about that.
Okay.
Let us talk about, because there's some other things I want to get to too, but let's talk about our accomplishments and our achievements and how we all got started with this.
Well, you want me to start since I'm older? I'm older, so I guess I should start. Well, as you all know, that I like to talk. So that's number one. I like to talk. I like to talk to people. I like to talk to those closest to me. And I like to talk to everybody, really. I like to talk a lot. But I try not to overdo it. Most times I fail. Okay. Most times I fail. Sorry. But I like to talk. And I like to talk to people, and I like to find out about people and what they're doing. So anyway, knowing that way back in the day, even though, like I said, talk a lot, I wanted to be an actor, a star. I wanted to be famous. I wanted all of these things. But because my parents were teachers, they're both retired now, I wanted to be a teacher. So my parents basically said, no, you don't want to do that. No. But because I was always listening to everyone and their problems and issues and all that stuff, I was told, my dad said, well, now that you're getting close to going to college, maybe you might want to look into psychology. I said, sure, maybe I should do that. So I go to school, my first school, California University of Pennsylvania, started off there.
Yep. And
the first time I realized that psychology was probably not for me was when I met with my student counselor. He was very nice. Don't get me wrong. He's very nice. I was 17 years old. And now that we're almost done with Christmas 2022, he kind of looked like Santa Claus. Chubby dude, white hair, big red rosy cheeks, red nose, and all of that, the glasses and everything.
That's funny.
Looked just like Santa Claus. And he came in and started talking to me, I think. I think.
Talk about Dave for Billy?
No. I'm talking about Cal State.
Oh,
Dave was not there.
Oh, that's right. Wrong place.
So he's the man is tough, and I've since forgotten his name. So sorry, but he was talking to somebody, we'll say, somebody in the room, and it was just he and I in the room. So, So with that being said, I was like, I better hurry up and try to figure out how to get out of here with this man talking. Like, okay, so I thought he was strange, but nice. Okay. But like I said, he wasn't talking to me. He did a little bit, but okay. So I left. And then when I was talking to a few other students, they were like, Bobby, guess what? That poor man had been in an insane asylum last semester, and he just came back. I said, oh my gosh, poor man. Oh goodness.
Time to change schools.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I stayed there for a little bit longer and then left. I came back home, went to the community college for a little bit, and then trying to figure out what I wanted to do with myself. And my dad said, well, you love to write and you love to talk, so why don't you go to school for journalism? It's a good idea. So at community college, that's when I started building up my resume there. I did a lot of writing. I wrote for the major newspapers here in the city, for the school newspaper, all of that good stuff. And then I built it up enough to apply at Point Park, where I would meet my future husband. And I worked on the newspaper there as well. I did not work in the radio station, nor didn't we have a TV station there too? I think there was a TV station there.
Sort of. And I say sort of because I think it was one of those, like, what do they call those stations? Almost like a public access, but it wasn't, kind of like a do-it-yourself type of.
Got it.
That's why I say I was like, okay, I never was involved in that. So.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but I wrote a lot. Wrote for the paper, did that, and then I ended up as an intern at two of the major stations here, actually three here in the city. KDKA, where I got most of my experience, behind the scenes news, and my mentor, Aviva Radford. Thank you so much. Thank you, Aviva. She taught me a lot, and she's still, God bless her, she is still kicking it with these stations. She is out there. And I also worked for a short time with WQED, which was the home of none other than
Mr. Rogers.
So I never actually met him, though. Seemed like every time I ended up in the studio, he wasn't there, and vice versa. So I never actually met him, but Lord rest his soul. So that's how things started picking up for me. And when I finally graduated, I got a job at two of the gospel radio stations here, and then married somebody that I know, and then we went from there.
Two gospel radio stations, and that's where the Angel of the Airwaves was born.
That's where the Angel of the Airwaves.
Angel of the Airwaves was born one night. Like, weren't you filling in for somebody? Is that how you got your start?
Yes, I think so. It's been 100 years.
And then they ended up giving you gave you the shift.
Yes, that's true. I worked at WPGR. It's no longer in existence, but it was in downtown Pittsburgh, and they needed somebody to work evenings, Monday through Friday. So I did, but I was also working during the day and going to school and all that stuff. And when I was doing that, then they were like, well, maybe can you work a little bit more during the day? But, I still had some decent money coming from what I was doing during the day. So I'm like, well, that's all right, but I'll help with other things around the studio while I'm here. So I was the public service announcer manager and did voiceover work and on-air talent and all that kind of stuff. MCs for different shows that would come in, top shows like Fred Hammond, things like that would come through. So yeah, it was pretty exciting, coming through, trying to do that kind of stuff. And I remember actually you and I went to, at this point we were married, right? And we went to
one of the concerts that you were emceeing.
Yeah, Fred Hammond concert.
Yeah.
And I was an MC, and this is what was really, really funny. You'll get a kick out of this. I had never been, as many times as the newspaper would take pictures of the staff of each of the radio stations and whatnot, because people wanted to see who they were listening to. I built up a pretty decent fan base. I actually had a couple of crazy lurker fans, fans that would, be listening to my voice and calling in and saying crazy things and whatnot. Even on gospel radio, if you can believe that, gospel radio. So anyway, as sitting there with you, there were two ladies in front of us at this concert. And, when you, this is something I just want to put out there. When you win tickets to an event from a radio station, 9 chances out of 10, the people at the radio station, especially if you've never seen them before, are there in the audience. We don't necessarily, I don't know what people might say, but we don't necessarily take the best seats and whatnot. They're usually like, no, you can have these cheap seats in the back. Let the listeners who won, let them have the good seats, which is cool. So Sam and I were able to get, they gave us some tickets. They were okay. And we're sitting there, and there were these two ladies talking about me. Watch what you say about people on the air, especially if you've never seen them before. So the one lady was like, I wonder if that Bobby D is here. And the one said, I don't know. I don't know what she looks like, because like I said, every time they came to take pictures, I was at my other job. So they don't know what I looked like. Well, I wonder if she is going to be here. Well, she probably will be. I don't know. She'll probably be one of the MCs or something. Oh, wow. She is so annoying. I'm like, woo. And so Sam gets this look on his face like, and I went,
I was about to grab it back. Well, no, I wasn't. I mean, it's just, it's just.
It's like, I can her laugh is so annoying. I just can't take it. And they were going back and forth. And I'm like, and so I'm like, okay. So then when it was time for, us to do our MC thing and blah, blah, blah. So they called for each of us to come up out of the audience. And they said, oh yeah, and this one. And Bobby D, are you in the house? And I stood up, hi. And I did my little laugh, the way I laugh. And you should have seen the looks on those ladies' faces. They turned and looked at us. And I said, hi, thanks for listening. Gotta love it. So be careful. That's all I'm saying. Be careful who you talk about whenever you go out.
That's so funny.
Be careful.
Oh, I just noticed. Fegs is in the building.
Hey, Fegs, what's up?
What's up, the Gospel Yenzer?
The Gospel Yenzer. Oh, and I see Donetta said that people get the two mixed up, the Philly and Pittsburgh. So
yeah, I guess that's easy to do because they're both in the same state.
That's true. And they both start with P.
And one city is bigger than the other.
Yeah, Philly. I think it's in the hashtag love it. Gotta love it. You gotta watch what you say. And unfortunately, yeah, I guess I could say unfortunately.
Yeah.
I did miss an opportunity. I hate to say a couple opportunity because I was working at the other station to be in a couple of movies, because believe it or not, they would come to the radio station and look for talent there. And many of the people that I worked with there are actually in, get this, if you all have ever seen the Temptations movie, one of my coworkers at the time played, what did she played Mary Wells? Mary Wells. That's Natasha. She played Mary Wells. Our our
program director.
Program director.
I think it's
was he the program director?
I didn't work there, but it's like you just kept telling me.
Yeah, I think he was a program director. But he was also in it. You could actually see him and Natasha walking through whenever they did that big picnic scene when Leon was, he was
David Ruffin.
David Ruffin, thank you. Mm-hmm. He was David Ruffin, and then there was a lady playing Tammy Terrell, and he was like yanking her, and they say that he was abusive. Yeah. So so I'm like, wow, I could have been in a movie. Like, what, but I was working. I'm always somewhere else working when something happens. So anyway, that's my story.
Well, the only thing you didn't talk about was the other station you went to. That was the one that, you got.
That was the one where I stayed the longest, about 5 years. And that was WGBN. Mm-hmm. Bishop Lauren E. Mann, Lord rest his soul, he recently passed last year. Mm-hmm. And I applied for that one after things were looking a little like shady and about to fall apart at WPGR. I moved over to GBN and worked every single shift that they had. Was the public service director there, and I was a few other.
Did you do traffic? No, you didn't do traffic.
Yes and no. Technically, I guess I could say I was the traffic manager, but technically I didn't do the traffic. But
you worked everybody's shift.
I worked every shift that they had, and
filled in for everybody,
and it was the morning shift where I started using yesterday's history, tomorrow's mystery, today's a gift. That's why we call it the present. So I've been doing that for a long time. It's been a long time.
Boy, I remember when you used to fill in for the Saturday morning person.
Yes.
I remember that you'd get up at 4:30 in the morning and you'd have to be there like just before 6.
Oh my. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that you were like, well, I'm filling in for Sherry today. So it's like,
up I go.
I'm like, dang.
Up I go. But it was good. Good experience.
Yeah.
Paying dues. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You can't just get on a show and not everybody is quite that lucky. Like Ross Matthews lucky, where you get on a show as an intern and then boom, instantly famous. Not everybody gets that. Even Oprah herself had to pay some dues. So that's what you do. It's called paying dues.
It is.
Right. You're right. So,
well, you had quite a journey and your
and
journey.
It's still going.
Yeah. And your journey is you're doing so well on gospel excellence and all the other things that you're doing. And
thank you, sir.
Here. So, I mean, yeah, you've got quite a resume.
And so do you.
Yeah. Well, journalism wasn't even my first love.
Yeah.
Because when I was in high school, I had so many different thoughts in my head that I'm like, well, first I thought I was going to be a veterinarian. Then I thought I was going to be
good for you.
Yeah, because I love animals. I thought I was going to be a medical doctor. I thought about being an optometrist.
Oh, that'd be good too.
There's just some of the things that I had thought about. But then when it was time to apply to different schools, I'm like, well, maybe I thought maybe engineering, but that's too daggone hard. So thanks, Fegs. He says we're looking well.
Oh, thank you, Fegs.
And thank you for the show anniversary shout out, bro. We appreciate you.
Yes.
As well. The Gospel Yinzer.
The Gospel Yinzer. That's right.
We deemed you the Gospel Yinzer. You're Pittsburgh. Honorary Pittsburgh Yinzer.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so like I said, journalism was not my first love at all. Believe it or not, my first love was computer science.
Wow.
And I'm sorry I did that. Because,
Don't be sorry.
Oh, yeah, it was hard. Well, it was hard for me. And I thought I was going to be a computer. Well, things got easier years later. Because, it's like you got this app. All you got to do is click this and things work. Yeah. You didn't have to try to program something yourself. It's like, I know that one of my first classes, and this is really what decided that I needed to change my major.
Oh boy.
Is one of the classes that I took was psychology.
Oh yeah. Well,
but but
that's what I started
but
doing.
but me and my psychology teacher were button heads all the time. He did not, for some reason, he did not like me. I did nothing to him. It's because my grades struggled.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't get the grades that I wanted in his class. And then the other part of it, my computer programming class, what did they call it at the time? Computer Pascal. Kind of dating myself here. For those of you who don't know what Pascal is, basically it's computer programming. It was a specific program that you would run back in the day, or try to program back in the day. That was extremely hard. I mean, they were sitting there saying, if X plus Y runs this, then J plus whatever.
No.
And I'm saying, and I had to write my own programs, and I had to make it work. I spent so many times.
I didn't like that.
No,
I tried that too. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I spent so many times trying to get my program to work, and I never could. And it got to a point, like when midterms came, I was like, I don't know if I want to make it. So then at the end of the semester, or toward the end of it, my psychology teacher, my computer programming teacher, was also like the counselor or whatever. He said, I see your determination in this field, but you're really, I'm going to be honest with you, you're really struggling here. I said, yeah, I am. He was like, you ever consider another major? I said, I don't know what else.
Oh man, jeez.
Whatever else. I don't know what else I'd be looking at. He said, well, you know what? Why don't you take some time, just, you're about to go on, holiday break or whatever. Just take some time and just kind of think. So in the meantime, while I was waiting for that, my neighbor down the street, who ended up being my mentor in radio, shout out to the legendary Bruce Ball here in Pittsburgh, he was working at this radio station, which also is not in existence anymore, 1550 AM WCXJ. Classic R&B. They had the best, and classic R&B and R&B. How R&B should be.
Right.
Every Saturday afternoon, he had his show called The Love Machine. Bruce was very popular, and if people know him to this day, he can go up to the grocery store. It's Bruce Ball, yeah. So I remember, I went with him, I think twice, to the radio station. So he just said, hey, why don't you, you want to sit in on my show? I'll come pick you up. We don't live up the street from him. So came by, got me, went to this radio station when I'm sitting there. And I was like, watching him just do everything, watching him do his thing. And when he popped the mic, got Saturday afternoon. It's, he had a real deep voice. Like, there's the Love Machine, and I'm Bruce Ball, and thank you so much for tuning in today. And I'm sitting there like, oh man, that is really cool. I was just getting excited. I was like, man, I think I might want to do something like this. So that's what got me thinking. And then when I went back to school, I changed my major to journalism and communications with a focus on radio. So I decided to try out for the campus radio station. Now they had, the format that they had was alternative. Was it alternative or is alternative and progressive rock the same thing?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well, whatever they would play on college campuses at that time, for some reason,
alternative,
I think alternative, because whatever during that decade or time frame was, that would seem to be the most popular of these college radio stations. So I think it was progressive rock or whatever. So I'm in between class. I changed my major, so I'm finally in journalism class, radio classes and stuff. I wanted to get as many radio classes as I could. So I'm sitting there and I'm, walking through the hallways and stuff. And I took a peek into the campus radio station, and they actually had a sign on the door that they were looking for on-air talent. So I said, you know what? And I inquired. I walked in there and I asked them, and they were looking for, we're looking for somebody, because this person can't do it, or the person just left or graduated or something. So they were looking for like a fill-in, more or less. So it was like, I remember it was a 2:00 shift. It was like 2 to 4 or something like that. on like a Wednesday or something. And I'm like, okay, so what would I be doing? It's, oh, it's progressive rock, whatever. I'm like, I mean, they did have like, I don't know if anybody knows this group, but they had a band, like some of the music that they would play was like Third Eye Blind.
Oh yeah.
Remember them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think they had like some of the trying to think, it's REM is 80s, right? But didn't they do the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you, I think, say like you might hear 3 of those groups on our campus station. So they had the music all set up, and it just said, then it got to the point like, okay, well, I think you can slip like 1 song extra in there per hour or something like that. So I'm like, okay. So I remember popping the mic for the first time, and I was real nervous. I was like, I don't even know what to call myself. So first I didn't say my name at all. I just popped the mic and just say, hey, good afternoon, this is WPPJ, Radio 67, and this is whatever. So then after that, I'm like, I'm kind of liking this. Is like, I could get used to this. So then the next time I came on, I popped the mic. I said, this is Sam C. And then like the guy, like I guess the manager or whatever, came out and he was like, did you say your name was Sam C? And I'm sitting there, I was like, yeah. He's like, I like that. He was like, and you have a good sound too. And I was like, he's like, you ever been in radio before? I said, no. He said, you have a really good sound. He said, what are you doing tomorrow? He said, do you, can you fill in or your classes, do you have any classes around 2:00 tomorrow? I said, no. So can you come back and fill in again? I said, yeah, okay, cool. So came back, and it was on Thursday. Same thing, 2 to 4. And then when the shift was over, he said to me, they have opportunities where you can do your own show, any format you want. It's starting at 6:00, Monday through Friday. And I said, what? He's like, what? He's like, so if you have a format that you want to do, we have openings. He's like, it's like free for all, whatever you want to play. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay. So then the next week I had gone back with Bruce. Now I'd already been on the air a couple times. And then I told him this, and he was like, because he actually put me on the microphone with him. And he said, I want to introduce you to a young man. He's up and coming. I was like, oh no. I was like, anybody that's up and coming, I was like, oh no, I'm going to screw this up. No. He said, and I want you to be on the lookout for this young man because he's going places. He said, this is my man, Sam C. Smooth. And I said, Sam C. Smooth. He said, brother, I got to give you that. I got to add the smooth to that Sam C. because, you have such a smooth sound. And, you're just a smooth brother. And, I've known you for many years now. And yeah, that's who you are. You're Sam C. Smooth. So Sam C. Smooth, tell us a little bit about yourself and, your radio stuff so far. And I was like, wow, okay. So that's where Sam C. Smooth got started because of my mentor, Bruce Ball. From there, I still worked at the campus radio station. I started my own show during after hours called Solitude. It was R&B, and R&B. I'll give it to you that way. R&B. So I felt like the way music should be played. So, and I even had people coming in that were sitting in they would pump the music in the cafe where we would all sit. So people would actually come from the cafe right around the corner, peep into the radio station, see me in the studio, and they knock on the studio door and they come in and say, I just want to let you know you're doing a good job. Like, are you new here? I'm like, no, I'm just new to this. And they're like, I'm just, I was sitting there, I was trying to, I was doing my, I was studying for whatever, but I just couldn't help but coming in because there's a couple of people that came in and said that to me.
I believe that.
I was thrilled. So, yeah. So once I was on Bruce's show and I was doing my own thing, that's how I got started. And it didn't hurt that my professor, Dave Fabili, shout out to him as well, who actually was my radio teacher.
Yeah, right.
I was in intro to radio broadcasting, and I was also in radio production class. And we did commercials, and we did our fake commercials and everything.
Our fake commercials.
So, you know,
That's good.
so yeah, I once we did that, and he said, and it was Bruce who actually got me a job at one of the local stations here. It was 104.7 FM.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, it was smooth jazz. So they were looking for somebody to work overnights on a weekend. And the shift was 10:30 at night to 5:30 in the morning.
Ugh. Yeah.
On a Friday night or on a Saturday, well, Friday going into, wait a minute, no, Saturday night going into Sunday morning.
Yeah, I remember that.
So now keep in mind, I still had a regular job.
Yeah.
So I was never without a job. So
that's right. Never without a job.
Mm-hmm.
We try to keep jobs, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Try to keep a job.
Yeah. So no, I'm just laughing at the things that. So yeah, I had a lot of, when I was doing that working overnight, smooth jazz, I didn't really get many calls yet because, it's smooth jazz and people were like, I just loving this station, and then as soon as I started there, it was like a month later, they were going through a format change. And I was like, well, that's the end of my career. Thanks. See you later. Thank you for having me here, guys. I'll see you somewhere down the line. And then the station manager comes by and says, Sam, no, don't think this is the end. I just want to tell you something. We're changing formats. We're going to a format called Jam and Oldies. And I'm like, what is that? And he was like, well, Jam and Oldies is it's 70s and 80s music. So you have disco, and it's like, disco and 80s music. I was like, okay.
That's not bad.
So that format's going to be starting in like 2 or 3 weeks. So, we're getting like some new people in here and whatever. So I was like, okay. So, I mean, you'll do the same shift, but it'll be different. So they had all these jingles in there and sweepers. And I know the first song when I walked in there the first night, and I take that back. They were having a contest for the radio station. What's the radio station name? Name the new radio station. People were just calling it, like they were saying, okay, the Edge, the River, like the Movement and all that stuff. But somehow or another, and I was even helping out with the morning show as an assistant producer. That's something else I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the morning when they unveiled the name, and they actually went to someone's house. That's whoever, like Publishing Clearing House.
Yes.
So somebody had won, like, I think whatever it was, $500 or something like that, and something else.
Because they're the ones that came up with the name.
So they went to this person's house, and I remember
that day.
Yeah, live broadcast, whoever was there. And they were like, oh, I can't believe I won. I was like, okay, well, whoever it was, okay, tell us, what's your favorite radio station? 104.7, The Beat. Pittsburgh's Jam and Oldies. And we were like, oh, snap, here we go.
I thought that was kind of, I'm like, wow, The Beat. Like I came up with, I don't know how many others that probably would have been better. That's just me. I was like, The Beat. They won $500, but just saying The Beat.
Yeah. And I'll never forget the first song that I played as The Beat.
What's that?
Tina Marie's Lover Girl.
Oh, no.
I was so excited. Like when I would hit that little thing and would say, like, you are listening to Pittsburgh's #1 Jam and Oldies station, 104.7 The Beat, and then they'd have the call letters come up and I would hit it. Doom, 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 doom. I was like, oh man, Tina Marie, I'm loving this. And then, there were some times when I was able to add my own fill-in songs when I would play, because they changed my shift. They needed somebody to do, instead of being like 10:30 to 5:30, I ended up being midnight to 10 a.m.
Yeah, I remember that too.
This one here used to come by and visit me, sort of. Before she went to bed, she'd roll over there with me, hang out for like an hour.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And be sitting there like, I gotta go to bed.
Gotta go to bed. Knocked out.
I gotta go to bed.
Jeez,
so, yeah, so I ended up helping out at 104.7 The Beat. And also there was a radio station literally in the next room called 3WS, which right now is I think 70s and 80s music.
Mm-hmm.
But they were like 50s and 60s. So
at the time.
At the time. But I got to know meet a lot of on-air personnel from both radio stations, even some from our local station, WAMO, WAMO, who came over and switched over to the beat. Just so many just wonderful people.
That's right.
And while I was doing that, I was doing that while I was in college. So I was the first person in our crew to actually work at a radio station, and the college radio station and the other radio stations, and still go to school.
That's true.
So,
and actually get a paycheck for doing it.
And get a paycheck. And I'm sorry, I hope this doesn't really sound braggadocious.
I don't think so.
Because I'm not trying to brag.
No, facts are facts.
Okay.
That's all it is.
Just wanna state. So what the Feg said. Oh, actually, no. Feg said he wasn't a Steelers fan. I think he was talking about the person who he was ripping on somebody.
Janetta and Fags are having a good conversation here.
I know. See, I have a question. Now that 2023 is right around the corner, what do you see for your shows moving forward? You want to answer that?
Go for it.
You want me to answer it? Okay. Well, we haven't announced this yet, but we can announce it now. So each of our shows, I can tell you the audio podcasts, Gospel Excellence, Love Notes, and Back to the 80s, when all of them come back in a couple weeks, they will all have an 80s theme attached to them. It's just a matter of who is going to be featured on what show. But I figured what a way to come back, just make them all focus on someone from the 80s.
Now the 80s are all that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're going to have some fun with that. And I don't know, maybe just trying out, I don't know how to enhance those shows and even enhance this show, but you never know. We might have some thoughts. We can talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe tweak a couple things, maybe add some more fun stuff here.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
Oh, but when she said that's my favorite little word, braggadocious. And Feg said more content containing still shitty shrimp.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, could be.
Fegs.
Hey, could be. And he says,
I guess it could be.
We finna get your yin signature after this.
Fegs, you are a mess. You are a mess.
That's why you're our
gospel
yins are our initiated Pittsburgh.
That's
yinzer.
Right. More interviews.
Yeah.
Fegs.
Yeah. Fegs. Okay, since Fegs is here, Fegs, I think I've reached out to you before recently. Fegs, we would love to have you come back in the new year, sometime soon. I've asked you that before. So whenever your schedule is clear, mm-hmm. we definitely would love to have you back on the show. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't have it any other way.
We'll have Lester back on.
Yeah,
both Shars.
Yeah, we've got Summer. Yeah, we've got so many different thoughts here. It's just going to take a moment to kind of see where we want to fit everybody in, and of course some new people on board. So
of course.
Yeah. Before we go, let's do this as well. We do have some new merchandise that we wanted to share with you guys. So, well, some of these things you may have seen, but let's go ahead and get started with what you got on top there.
Well, Miss Donetta already has this.
Yes, the Cooking Fun with Mrs. Covage half apron. So, yeah, that is a great that's funny. Yeah, that is a great item. I love the fact that you can put like your
utensils in
there.
You can put your utensils in my head.
Now that's funny.
Don't put them in my head. Put them on the sides.
Yes. Put them on the side.
It's kind of weird how they have it kind of in the middle like that. But that's all right.
Well, that's all right. But that's a very great item there. Had some sales on that, so thank you for that. Where should I put this?
Fold it.
Oh.
Never mind.
Don't embarrass me on the
I'll
show,
fix
baby.
it later.
Okay.
I'll fix it later.
Don't-
We can't fold on. All right. Here's another one. This one is the latest.
Yes, this is the
Bam.
latest, our latest Pandemic Press Publishing T-shirt. Just arrived, so that is ready for you, and you can see the logo is nice and big because we want you to know who you're repping.
That's right. Just don't rob a bank or anything.
It smells good too.
Of course.
No,
Yes.
same thing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, it smells good.
None other than
Well,
Bam.
this is the CCI radio show love notes,
love shirt.
love notes T-shirt. So for all of you love notes listeners of the smooth one here, you can have the opportunity to purchase that as well. And for those of you who love the best gospel music and praise, make sure you support Bobby D and Gospel Excellence. That is available for you right now. And that is I love that color.
Chocolate. With gold in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's really funny. I love that gold inside of there.
Yeah, me too.
You were staring at it too.
Yeah.
And also for those of you who, again, are big fans of Cooking Fun with Mrs. Cubbage, now you have the Cooking Fun with Mrs. Cubbage T-shirt to go along with the apron. So a T-shirt just arriving.
There we go. There we go.
Nice. Love it. I really do like that shirt.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really do. All right. And we have a couple other things that just arrived here. We have the Pandemic Press Publishing mug. And you can see that right there. Just arrived for you.
And it has the logo on both sides.
Yep, logo on both sides. I'll just set this here.
Okay.
And let's see, Pandemic Press Publishing notebook just came through. Set this right here. I'll keep it on the lap.
And that.
Like that. And we have another Pandemic Press Publishing mug. This is which we've had.
Yeah. It should. I don't know if it's still on the website or not.
I have to take a look at that.
Mm-hmm.
This is I Love Pandemic Press Publishing. I don't know how far you can see that.
That's good.
All right, so you see that.
And of course.
Yep. And of course, like Bobby D said, Pandemic Press Media Magazine with our good friend Shar on the cover.
The latest copy.
So let me tell you this. It's the end of the year. This is our 11-year show anniversary. Each of these items right here, if you want to purchase one of these, $11 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
$11 a piece. But to get that $11 deal, if you want any of those that we just showed you, you have to either send us a Cash App, which is to Pandemic Press Media, or you can send it through PayPal, Pandemic Press Publishing. And it's only going to run from now until the end of next week.
Oh, okay.
So again, that's everything that we just showed you right there, from Pandemic Press Media Magazine to the mugs to t-shirts, notebook. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And Danetta said that now I need to get back into the kitchen.
That's right.
I love it. And she said yes to the 80s music. moving forward for all platforms out there. I'm wishing everyone a prosperous new year and continued success. God bless.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess Danette already asked us what's next for 2023, because that was actually one of the things we're going to talk about. But yeah, it's hard to believe that this is actually our last show for this year.
Yeah, hard to believe it's the last day of this year.
Yeah, that too. And one more thing I didn't mention too, which I didn't bring over, but I'll just, I've told this before, our soaps.
Oh, yes. And Zanetta, guess what? We're putting them in the mail today.
Yes.
Well, excuse me, not the mail.
The right way.
Not the mail.
Let's just say they're being mailed today.
They're being mailed today, but
yes.
not at the post office. So yeah. I will get you those tracking numbers as soon as I get home.
Yes.
Yes. We have decided, maybe the post office
will not get our business.
No. No. We want to make sure that you actually receive what you asked for.
Yes.
So, bye-bye, post office. Maybe that's why people were going to stop using the post office, because stuff like that.
Yeah, they keep raising the price of stamps.
Right, that too.
So, yeah, we will we'll go another route with that.
Right.
Actually, very soon we'll be making our runs out.
Yeah, actually pretty soon.
And you have something else on your hand there?
Well,
no.
Not really.
Okay.
Well, these are...
Yeah.
These are the bookmarks. I have our QR code on it.
No, okay.
That's all.
So, yeah, so it's been quite a year, quite a journey, and some of the people that we did have on our show, of course, we had Fegs on the show, and then you already talked about everybody who we pretty much had on. Robin Hare.
That's right.
Pastor Steele, Robert Sear. You already mentioned Lester.
Naz Pankey.
Naz.
Summer Ray.
Summer. Yeah. We've had so many great people on the show this year. So we look forward to more wonderful things next week.
Shar.
Jones
and McAllister.
I can't believe we know two Shars now.
That's right. Two Shar singers.
That is so funny. Yeah.
Teresa. Was Teresa on this year?
I'm not sure.
Was she on at the beginning of the year?
I don't think, but we're going to have to get her.
But we will have her back on this year.
Yes.
We will have her back. So.
Yes. And there'll be, like I said, some great music being played on our audio podcast as well. So you just make sure that you stay tuned for the YouTube channel stuff. And by the way, I know it's the end of the year. We thank you so much, and continue to make sure you tell your family and friends about us. Make sure you click, like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell for show notifications, and also check out our audio podcast as well. And all of our items on our website, pandemicpresspublishing.com. Check out our merch, as we just showed you today. So, like Danetta said, she's saying thank you. It's cool. She can't wait. We can't wait for this new year.
And we can't wait to get her merchandise out.
I know.
Since it took can you believe it took a trip to Chicago? She said it was just a city outside of where she is in Chicago, near where she grew up. It was right outside of her town that she lives in, literally one town over. And then they sent it back. Like it was almost to her.
That's a shame.
That is terrible. I'm not going to get into that. I'm going to get fired up again. So I'm going to get fired up again.
No, gotcha.
So anyway, so this time it will make it, because we're going to send it FedEx or UPS. So one of those will work.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get there.
That's the way it goes. Sorry, USPS. You don't do the right thing.
Well, I think you think we should get ready to wrap this up for this year, and
yes, and get Danetta's stuff out in the sent, not in the mail.
Yes, sent,
not in the mail.
She said, "I'm here for it." 2023, let's go.
That's right.
Yes, the post office was teasing me.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, for sure. So Yeah.
That's how she
We're
flexed her
done.
muscle.
Sounds good.
A lot of fun this year. Thank
That's
you
right.
guys so much.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Oh.
Cheers.
Cheers to the new year coming
Cheers
up.
to the new year coming up.
And should we come on tonight?
Yeah, maybe. We might
Or maybe
pop in.
not.
Maybe not.
Might pop in.
Maybe pop in. Drinking our sparkling cider.
Yes.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. We didn't have to go to the bathroom while we were on it.
Yeah. And we
Our
just
sparkling cider.
might get another one of those.
I have another.
All right, that's perfect. So, yeah, anything else you want to say, Bobby D, before we head on out of here?
Police are driving by.
Okay.
That's all I'm driving. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Well, Danetta's laughing. She says, "Thanks for the laugh. Cheers."
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for everything. We're so excited for the new year to come.
Yes.
And we thank you. And we hope that you continue to stick with us. And yeah, just cheers to more fun in the new year.
Can't wait. And we will say with the new year, the newest edition of Pandemic Press Media Magazine, the winter edition
is on the way.
So that'll be coming out really, really soon. I know we just literally did the holiday one, but now we got to move forward to winter in the new one for 2023.
That is correct. That is correct. So thank you.
Aw.
Oh, we love you too. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Aw.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I guess we better go, huh?
Yeah, let's head on out of here. Plus, we never know, might want to grab something while we're out, depending on how we feel.
Okay.
So,
yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. Thank you so much for joining us. That's it for 2022, and we will see you again in 2023.
Happy New Year's Eve and Happy New Year.